Today, we're diving into a really provocative idea, one that comes from a text called The Grand Illusion of the Ballot Box. And it's an idea that, honestly, it really makes you question the foundation of our democracy and the real power of your vote. So let's just start with this question right here. Think about your vote. When you go to the ballot box, are you making a real, genuine choice? Or are you maybe just playing a part in a much larger performance that's already been scripted? You know, on the surface, it all seems pretty simple. We learn that democracy is about choice. It's about looking at who's running, what they stand for, and picking the person you think will do the best job representing you. Seems straightforward enough, right? But then this idea comes along and just throws a wrench in the whole thing. It asks, what if the choices you're given, what if that menu of options is already decided for you? Is that really a choice at all? And that's the big idea we're going to unpack. So, to really get at this, the source material we're looking at uses this fantastic metaphor, politics as theater. The idea is that the whole political world isn't a place for real debate, but a carefully staged show, a pantomime. I mean, think about those heated arguments you see on TV, right? The shouting, the finger pointing. Well, according to this view, none of that is real. It's not a genuine conflict. It's just part of the act. And the source has a specific name for it. It calls these debates a pantomime, a spectacle for the public. Basically a show put on just for us, to keep us hooked, to make us think the drama is all legitimate. And that word, pantomime, is so important here. I mean, what is a pantomime? It's over the top. The characters are predictable. There isn't a lot of real substance. The argument is, that's exactly what our politics has become. And just like any show that's been on for ages, there's a script. Sure, some of the lines might change here and there, but the main story, the basic plot points, and the conflicts, they stay pretty much the same, year after year. Okay, so here's a perfect example from that script. See if this rings a bell. A new party gets into power, and what's the very first thing they do? They blame the last guys for everything that's wrong. This perspective says, yep, that's not a real argument. That's just them reading from page 1 of the playbook. All right, so if we're all watching a play, then who are the actors? What does all this scripted drama really tell us about the so-called opposing parties? This really lays it all out, doesn't it? What we see, the on-stage version, is all about fighting and blaming each other. But backstage, behind the curtain, the claim is it's a totally different world. It's all good show, old chap, and pats on the back. A rivalry for the cameras, but in reality, it's more like a private club. And this might be the most powerful way to think about it. The idea is that the left and the right, they're not two different things. They're just two sides of the very same coin. Heads or tails, it doesn't matter which side lands facing up, the coin itself never changes. Okay, which leads to a huge question, right? If it's all just a show with the same actors, why do we, the audience, keep watching? Where do we, the voters, fit into this whole picture? Seriously, what keeps us in our seats? Is it just what we're used to, or is there some deeper, more powerful force at play here that makes sure the show goes on, election after election? Well, according to this argument, this whole massive production, this grand political theater, it all hinges on one single, absolutely critical thing that it needs from us, the public, to survive. And that thing is hope. It all comes down to hope. The performance, the pantomime, it gives us the crucial feeling that we're being represented, that someone's out there fighting for us. And that feeling is what keeps hope alive. And as long as we have that hope, we'll keep tuning in, thinking that maybe, just maybe, this time things will actually be different. So, where does this leave us? What's the final takeaway from this whole view of politics? Well, the source material does not mince words when it delivers its verdict. Yeah, the final judgment is blunt. It's called a perpetual scam. And that word, perpetual, is so important. This isn't just a one-off trick. It's a self-sustaining cycle that's literally designed to run forever. And you can see how that loop works right here. Step 1, you get the daily show. Step 2, the politicians high-five each other backstage. Step 3, we, the voters, feel represented and stay hopeful. And step 4, well, that hope is all they need to start the show all over again the next day. It's a perfect closed circuit. So the big takeaway from this point of view is the system isn't actually broken. In fact, it's working exactly as it was designed to. Now look, this is a very cynical take, and you could absolutely argue that the differences between parties are very, very real. But if you follow this logic, The main goal of the system isn't real change. It's the illusion of change, just enough to keep the whole thing running. Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If we go along with this provocative idea for a second, that the stage is set and the actors all know their lines in this long-running play, what does that mean for us, the audience? What's our next move? Something to think about for sure.